All right. Shalom. First and foremost, we want to start off by saying, Kal halal yamla.
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash.
Double honors to the head apostles of GMS, and a salute to the Akis that are tuning in. This is a portion of GMS Boston, again, coming with our weekly address. And pretty much we're just going to shine some light, some more light on the deeds of the wicked, man. Which, you know, we're going to shine some light on the deeds of the wicked. Who the wicked is the so-called white man, okay? Which the Bible says that the earth has been given in the hand of the wicked. And he's being nothing but a tyrant. He's nothing but a deceiver, an abuser, okay? And all his dealings, all right, are leading to the destruction of the world, man. That's right. All right, we're coming upon the brinks of destruction because of the unrighteous dealings that the so-called white man is doing. You know, you had that devil Kamala Harris, you know, go over to Guatemala, speaking madness, man, saying don't come. You know that they know what the root cause of the problem is in Guatemala, but in reality, if they did know what the root cause of the problem was, they would be talking about finding ways to make Guatemalans be self-sufficient. But guess what? Esau's antics is not working anymore, man. Okay, his little medley that he likes to sing every time he speaks is not putting people in enchantment, because they were booting Kamala Harris out of Guatemala. People were saying Trump won, you know, because if you look into Kamala, she's very knee deep into eugenics and Planned Parenthood, man, and giving women rights, and giving women the ability, right contraceptive, giving women the ability to go to an abortion clinic, you know, and basically kill off Jake, all right, because that's the main target. All right, you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, wherever you are, you're the main target for annihilation. Go ahead.
I got a quick quote from Margaret Sanger. She said, "We want to exterminate the Negro population."
Right, and that's that devil Margaret Sanger, man. You see, so this is the plan of the elites, man. This is in this agenda, and good old Biden and good old Kamala, you know, are following suit, because the previous president that was there wasn't being a good puppet, as we always say. You know, so guess what? He had to be replaced with a suitable, maneuverable puppet, man. That's right. You know, in the name of Biden and Harris. You know, so
I got something real quick. This is Daniel 8, and I'm gonna start at verse 23. And in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to the full, a king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up, and his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. He shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper in practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. And through his policies also he shall cause the craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart. And by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, and he shall be broken without hand.
Right, so by peace, right? Because this man comes in the name of peace. You know, he comes to your country and he will tell you that, yeah, you know, you need aid in healthcare. You need better healthcare reform. You know, and people will clap. They'll be like, yeah, we need medicine. We need this. You know, and it's nothing more than an excuse for them to bring in these clinics, right? These abortion, these vaccination clinics over there, and it's all to exterminate them, man.
Bro, it's amazing how,
you know,
how Esau introduced Planned Parenthood as something to help Jake, even in the name Planned Parenthood, as if it was something to, you know, to better our lives. It's literally presented as better in your life, but all it is nothing but death, man. And that's that peace that he caused to prosper in his hand, and by that he's destroying many, man.
And one more thing is a known fact, right? That we don't plan for anything. There's nothing planned in this world, because ultimately it's all the will of the Heavenly Father, man. That's what it boils down to. You see, the Heavenly Father is the one that controls everything, and there is no such thing as predestination. You know, everybody destiny was written by the Lord. You know, the scriptures say a man's going to of the Lord who can understand his ways. That's right. Okay, so if you have a child, you know, that was by the hand of the Heavenly Father, man. But we know that this world is not a fearful world. They don't fear the Heavenly Father, which is why the Lord got a controversy with this world. Which is why the Lord is going to come down and is going to shed the blood of many. Okay, He's coming down to kill some shit, man. You know, because this world, this is a lawless world, is satanic and demonic as all hell, man.
I got this.
You know, go ahead, bro.
Psalm 55 verse 20, he had put forth his hand against such as be at peace with him.
Right.
He had broken his covenant. The word of his mouth was smoother than butter, but war was his heart.
Right.
His words were softer than oil, yet were the drawn sword.
Right, and a good example of that was good old Billy Jakes when he gave that TED talk. You know, it was so subtle. This man was literally talking about the population. This man was talking about mass genocide, but the way he said it, the smoothness of it, had everybody clapping. You know, he clearly said, well, if P has this number, which P stands for people, and if we do a very good job of vaccination, we can reduce this number. And everybody was like, oh yeah, that sounds good, Billy. You see? And this man was pretty much with his, like the scriptures say, his word being smooth, you know, diving it into the minds of the people, and people are willing to accept it, you know, and they give way for the devil and Satan to come in, you know, and destroy them, man. 'Cause that's what he does. He's to destroy. The scriptures say, the thief cometh not but to steal, to kill, man, okay, and to destroy. Okay, who's the thief, man? The so-called white man, man. He's the one that has stolen everything, has gone to every single land. See, Guatemala, Venezuela, Brazil, which Brazil used to be rich in iron, which the word Brazil is a Hebrew word for barazal, which barazal means iron. It was rich, very, very founding rich in iron, which a lot of the ships that was built, a lot of the metal was coming from Brazil, man. You see, but look at the state of Brazil. Why? Because the so-called white man went over there and stole all the goddamn resources. Same thing with Puerto Rico. It was called the Port of Riches because it was rich in gold. Okay, you can find gold in the beach. You see that? Same thing with the island of the Hispaniola, Haiti and DR. You know, all these islands of the sea had riches. You know, but Esau, the so-called white man, who's the biggest thief, went in there in Africa, every single continent, everywhere he goes, man. It proves that he is that pale horse the scriptures talk about, the red horse.
Yep. Revelation 6:4, and there went out another horse that was red,
right,
and power was given to him.
Red represents danger. You see, when you have a red light, it tells you to stop because there's another car that's gonna go and you can slam into it, right? Go ahead.
Or even Edom. The word, Edom means red.
Means red.
Yep.
Rothschild.
Yep.
Red shield.
Red shield.
Yep.
And that comes from what? Crimson?
Crimson.
Crime family. Yeah.
Which goes back to what? Yashashua, ways to ways he. Which say Esau came out red all over.
That's right. Revelation 6:4, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword.
Right, and who gave him that power, man? Who gave him that power is the Heavenly Father. This is the reason why he hasn't been able to be taken down. Because as we said earlier, you know, if it was up to the people, man, this devil would have been gone a long time ago, man. Because ain't nobody like to get constantly beaten on. Nobody likes to get beat, man. Eventually you're going to say, wait a minute, something's wrong here. You know, but the Heavenly Father got that holy hedge on him, okay, going all the way back from to Cain, you see, to so that people don't go and kill him, man.
Yeah, I got one real quick. Just going back to the Genesis, right? 4 and 21, Fakia 4, and I started I started at 12.
No, verse 10. Verse 10.
No. Started 10.
Yeah.
I started at Genesis 4 and 10, right? And he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood cried unto me. Now art thou cursed from the earth, which have opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy land. And when thou stillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto her strength. And a fugitive and a vagabond shall thou be in the earth. And Cain said unto the Lord, my punishment is greater than I could bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. And the Lord said unto him, therefore whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest anyone findeth him, he should kill him.
Right, because whenever you have a murderer in your neighborhood, you're going to pinpoint who that murderer is, and you're going to get rid of him. Right. You know, you're going to get rid of him. But if the scripture says something very important, It was that the blood of Abel that was shed cried to the Lord. If you're spiritual, you'll know that that's between Israel and Esau, man. Because he's always killing us. He's always killing us. You see, and he's always going to continue to kill us.
Right. And that's that hedge that was put around Esau, to where basically nobody could do nothing to his ass.
That's right.
He has that demonic hedge around him. That's why I said if anybody take vengeance on Esau, Cain, Esau is Cain, they're interchangeable, but vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And that's the idea of America. You take one of ours, we're gonna take seven. You kill seven.
The Romans did the same thing. The Nazis did the same thing. If you watch a Nazi documentary in these occupied towns, whenever one of them parties has killed one Nazi, they will make an example and kill 20.
Yep.
You see, the Romans is the same thing. You kill one legion, they're gonna send in hundreds of legions to make an example.
And they're really the only ones that had that power, that was given that power to do such a thing.
Yeah, the Greeks.
They have the power to kill anybody, and can't nobody really do nothing. But go ahead, bro.
Just real quick, just another quote. It's from Barbara Marx Hubbard. She said, 1/4 of humanity must be eliminated from the social body. We are in charge of God's selection process for planet Earth. He selects, we destroy. We are the riders of the pale horse, death.
That's right, death, right? Death, man. That's it. They're an instrument. You want to say something?
No, that's just their tongue falling upon themselves. They're easily taking that role of being pumped up, being that red horse, man, representing death. That's all I get.
No, you got it. So yeah, man, that's true. They're at the end of the day, they're the whipping stick that the Lord have used to whip our people, man.
Right, and what better people to use than them? Look at their history. Look at their track record. Look at their gruesomeness. Yeah. Look how ruthless they are. What does Scripture say? Heartless they are. Like anybody else would have some form of pity a long time ago, or would have stopped a long time ago. But the Scripture say, what is that, Amos? I'll get that for you, bro.
I got a quick one back you up.
Yeah, can I read this one real quick? Right, this is Amos 1:11. It says, thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with a sword, and he did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually. He kept his wrath forever.
He kept his wrath forever because he passed it on to his children, his children's children, all the way to today, man. And like Elder Amasa said, his hatred has been embedded in his balls, man. Yeah.
But that's his DNA, which is his seed, his La Raza. His DNA makeup is who he is.
I got a definition for perpetual or perpetually, never ending, changing, everlasting, eternal, permanent, without end, long lasting.
Right. So Mortal Kombat is basically a fight into the death. Yeah. And that's what Jacob and Esau is involved in. That's the seed of the serpent and the woman, which the woman was the enmity, which was Yahshua. You look at in the book, one was given a promise that their seed would continue forever, be as the sand of the sea, and the other one was going to be made smaller amongst the nations and ultimately wiped out and destroyed. So that's a mortal combat, between these two nations. It's a fight to the death. When you enter into a mortal combat with somebody, there can be no love there. Somebody's gonna die. Somebody has to go.
Mortal means death.
Yep. And so combat is a fight. Which it goes back to the garden. It goes back to the womb. It goes to this day. What you see between the relationship between the so-called white man and the so-called black, Native American, and Hispanic is what the Bible is talking about. And from the beginning to Revelation, where it says the dragon was wroth with the woman, and the end, which is the last chapter in the book, to the beginning, which is the Genesis, to the first chapter. And all throughout, that's what the story is about. If you go to church, you went to Sunday school your whole life, and you didn't know the 2 main characters in the scriptures, shame on your pastors, man. They're leading you to astray, because these are the 2 main characters in the scriptures. Everybody else is kind of like extras in a movie. It's all about Jacob and it's all about Esau.
That's why you don't see these so-called white people discriminating to these East Indians, right, from India. These heathens, these East Indians, a lot of them are darker than this brother, than me, but yet they can go in, move to their neighborhoods, be welcome with a pie. They'll come with a pie, bring them a pie. Ain't no problem. They can go to the best colleges. Same thing with Moab. They don't have nothing against Moab. They don't have nothing against Japheth. Right. Japheth can come over here and they're fine and dandy. But let a Jake move into a neighborhood, man. There's something called forgot the term of it, but whenever Jake moves into a neighborhood,
population.
the value of all the properties around it start going down, and then people start moving out.
They
You
say
know,
there goes the neighborhood.
There goes the neighborhood.
Yeah, man, they had a joke that this Carzard I used to work for used to say where he lived it was all Carzards, but he said when basically when the Hamite moved in, his Carzard neighbors was like, I'm gone. And when the so-called, black men moved in the neighborhood, the Hamite neighborhood, the Hamite neighbor said, I'm out of here too. So he's basically saying like he's the last Carzard left in the neighborhood, but yeah, they all leave.
They all leave, man, because that hatred, man. It's like you take what's a good example, like a squirrel and a rat or something, these animals
Don't mix.
It doesn't mix. Yeah, snake and a rat don't mix, man. We don't mix. You don't see the snakes with squirrels hanging around. We don't mix, man. We're two different breeds.
Too many people.
Too many people.
I got one real quick.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Genesis 27, verse 41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing, wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand.
And that's why they always try to curve us. They'll make up laws like no hats and stuff like that. Why they making up laws like that? Because loitering, no loitering around, or gang conjunctions, because they know that's what we like to do. They make up these laws just to try to de-swag us and try to just lower us down and whatnot.
It says, and Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. And these words of Esau, her elder son, were told to Rebekah, and she sent and called Jacob, her younger son, and said unto him, behold, thy brother Esau, as touching thee, doth comfort himself, purposing to kill you.
Yeah, when you look at Jake getting hung, and you look at the postcards, and you ask yourself, how can they be so calm? Because that's comforting to them. Yeah. Find something that's comforting to you, whether it be just laying up with your woman, being on a couch, listening to jazz music, having a cup of wine, that feeling that you feel of relaxation, if you can, but find something that's comforting to you, and what's comforting to them is them killing us, man. That's why they like gruesome sports like UFC. They like to watch Jake. They get a thrill out of it. You see them, Like gladiators, right? UFC, right?
The Mandingo
Jingo.
fight.
It was at Django, right?
Mandingo fight.
Yeah, they get a thrill out of watching us suffer, man.
There was another movie called I think it was called Blood and Bones. You seen that?
Yeah.
With Michael J. White. The dude at the end of the movie, it was a Edomite from the UK that was sponsoring the last fight between him and the
before they got let out.
you're right. Right, he was sponsoring the fight, and I guess the dude, the enemy, the dude that was the wicked Jake, very wicked. He was I guess he made a petition to the cracker, and the dude was sitting at the table. You seen it? He's like, well, you Negroes, we only deal with you for your acrobatics and your sports, and because you entertain us, and because you right, and that's really the sentiment that these elites have towards us, man. They literally look at us as shit. They look at us as nothing but coons, monkeys,
And they want to channel our talents, basically. You know what I'm saying? They want to channel our talents and the anger that we have and our rage that we have towards one another, because they don't want us channeling it on them. So they know that we're athletic. They know they can't do nothing about it. It's evident. So they'll put us in sports arenas and have us battling each other.
And not only that platform, but they'll also spew out wine that's destructive. Like I said, talking about Guatemala. Guatemala is one of the countries, one of the most ravaged countries by these MS-13 Maras, man. And that stemmed off of what? Of America, okay? And in America, you had the foundation of the Bloods and the Crips, which the Bloods were nothing more than a response to, at first, to the treatment. Police brutality. But then the serpent got in there and stirred shit up. And guess what? Now you created a gang that was being used for evil purposes. And now that these Guatemalans, because it was the civil war that was going on in South America, a lot of them migrated here. They seen that, and guess what? They adopted that ways, because what does Genesis 49 says about Judah, that thy brethren shall praise. right? Judah shall be whom thy brethren shall replace. Meaning the brethren is the rest of the 12 tribes. I'm sorry, like the rest of the 11 tribes. They're gonna model after Judah, you know.
Yes,
so they started copying everywhere else. Brazil got bad gangs that is just madness. Guatemala, Mexico, everywhere.
That's that wine,
Right.
That's that wine, and that stems from Babylon
Right.
that these other nations are drinking from, trying to be like that. It's
Right.
like you said, it started off as a good thing. You have in El Salvador, in
Salvador,
Honduras,
right.
you got one of the
The
biggest gang
Zetas.
rivalries, the
Zetas.
18th Street and La Mara Salvatrucha. 18th Street is literally a street in California. And that's just not that wine has driven all the way down to South America to where the body count is
It's
through the roof.
and it's
through the
killing
roof.
them, killing each other. It's
Yeah.
all they're doing is
It's
killing
killing
each other.
each other,
Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome. This is Ezekiel 35:5. It says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end.
Yeah, come in their calamity, and it talks about them spilling the children of Israel's blood by force. That's not necessarily talking about them literally killing us, because them mixing that Kool-Aid with that wine to have our people kill us. That blood is also on their hands as well too. All right, the hospitals. That blood is on their hands. It doesn't gotta be necessarily them coming with the drugs that they set up. You know what I mean? Just the traps and the snares that they set for our people. That causes bloodshed, man. And not just the bloodshed, but how about the transgressions of the law, breaking it up of the families, forcing putting people in environments so they could steal. You know, where they have to steal. The scriptures say basically, despise not a hungry man who stealeth. So when you consider a lot of these jakes, you know, a lot of them are in positions to where they were put to where they had to force to take a meal, and that's that's Habakkuk, man. That's it says in Habakkuk.
Yeah, Habakkuk 2 verse 15. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that puttest thy bottle to him, and makest him drunk also, that thou mayest look on the nakedness.
Yeah, so when you go into Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, it talks about us being cursed, and it talks about us going, trying to escape the enemy in 7 different ways, which that 7 is just different completions. Jake coming up with that whole gang thing to combat, police brutality and getting beat upside the head by Jake, what the so-called white man did was he infiltrated that and used that as a reason for Jake to fight each other. There actually was a gang truce in LA, all right, between the Crips and the Bloods. And what was happening was, see, when you deal with the prison population, all right, this feeds a lot of nobles, it feeds a lot of upper middle class, even the elites of the rich. We did a last show a couple of weeks back when we went into all the prison labor and what it creates, and I was shocked to find out what it did on that level. But when you talk about, you're talking about correction officers, you're talking about COs, you're talking about probation officers, court officers, lawyers, judges, district attorneys, private corporations. This is billions of this is America. You know, like that this is America. Like this is America. America run. They said runs off of Dunkin's. No, it runs off of the demise of our people, man. The legit. When you crunch the numbers don't even add up. What it takes to house a prisoner is a crazy number. You know, hundreds of thousands of dollars just for one prisoner. You're talking about food. You're talking about shelter. You're talking about water. You're talking about electricity. You're talking about heat. You're talking about healthcare. They get better healthcare in prisons than they do out on the street. People on the street, literally, because if anything happens to you, they got to handle you, but they'll rather pay that money and pay that pain just so our people could suffer, man.
Yeah, I got that in Deuteronomy.
Yeah, read that in Deuteronomy, Baba Kashar, and then let's get into it again, because we're gonna keep bringing it out, man.
Yep. Deuteronomy 28 verse 25. The Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thy enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them and flee 7 ways before them, and shall be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth.
Yeah, and that was a way that we tried to get. All right, let's band together. Let's make a gang, and we're gonna control and protect our neighborhoods.
Yeah, man, I was gonna say real quick, if you brothers, it's free on YouTube. Panther, it's by Mario Van Peebles, who was one of the first so-called black directors. He shows you how, with the Black Panthers coming together due to what the police was doing, how he was riding around the neighborhood telling the drug dealers like, yo, don't you want to handle that yourself? Pumping that, shooting each other, and it showed you how the feds made a deal with the Italians to pump heroin into the neighborhoods to destroy Jake. And look what happened. It ended up, he put at the end of the movie, there was only a couple of 100,000 people addicted to heroin. In 1995, it was 500,000. Imagine what it is in 2021. But the point being that, look, they tried to come together. And how did California disarm them? California got some of the strictest gun laws, all because of the so-called Black Panthers, just to disarm them. Then they turned around and pumped heroin into the neighborhood.
Gang conjunction jars.
Yep,
Jake
yep,
can't be a certain amount of Jakes can't be together. You know, all trying to just basically stop us from uprising.
Yeah, scripture, Psalms 83.
I got something real quick. It says this is by anointed hands. It says black FBI spy exposes how they infiltrated and destroyed black organization. The black FBI spy exposes how the FBI infiltrated organizations, and I forgot the name of this guy, but this guy is he's a coon.
I think he was the one. That
This is
He's a whistleblower.
Darthard Perry, ex-informant.
William Perry.
Perry, Darthard Perry.
He's the one that took out the leader of the Black Panthers.
Judas and the...
Yeah, the Jews.
Oh, yeah.
Fred Hamilton. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, that was Darthard Perry, but he exposes a lot of what these brothers are saying, man. That the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, they spend a lot of time studying how Jake is, studying their movements, everything, everything that they like, and they really got into Jake, and then they set up a coon that'll infiltrate them and all that, man.
That's right.
Yeah, man, the last thing, I think it was J. Edgar Hoover that said, we don't need a black messiah, basically rising up.
Get the quote.
Yeah, get the quote.
That's COINTELPRO, right? That's what it was formed, right? That's what he formed.
COINTELPRO. That movie was that's set by the door.
Okay.
That's COINTELPRO.
Okay.
You know, they infiltrate, they make the person build up the organization, and then they teach them everything, what to do and how to set them up and everything like that.
So the cat is out the bag, man.
Yeah.
All we're doing is putting a spotlight on you because what you've been doing, you was doing it in the dark. Even the scriptures say they thought that what they was doing was in the dark. And all we're doing is putting a spotlight to you and presenting our case to the Heavenly Father, man, and saying, look at what they're doing, look at what they did to us,
Right, man. And another thing is that the KKK, all these so-called peon Edomites that gathered together ain't got nothing on these major agencies, man, that do all this, like the CIA, the Federal Bureau. All these agencies, they all come. The orders come down from these Jackal Islands, man. From these secret societies, the Bilderbergs. Right, exactly. Right, yeah. The Trilateral Commission.
Ultimately, that council in Psalms 83rd chapter.
Yeah, they're doing the worst damage. They're the ones that strategically setting up a system where it's nothing but destruction, man.
You got it? Oh no, I don't have. I was looking for it. But I got something.
Go ahead, bro.
You got the quote?
No, I got a research.
Go ahead, bro. You could go.
All right, this is Jeremiah 49:10. It says, "But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and his seed, and he shall not be able to hide himself."
Yeah, because Lord knows, we wasn't always all fucked up like this. You know what I'm saying? And again, it's like the hot air, the bloom, hot air or a bloom with helium in it. If you just let it go, naturally, what it's gonna do is rise. If you leave Israel alone, naturally, we're gonna figure it out. We don't need your welfare. You know what I'm saying? We don't need your your Section 8. We don't need none of that. Leave us alone. Eventually, we're gonna figure it out. But what you do is you give us these things in a form of gifts, welfare, Section 8, and what it does is it destroys the will of men, man. Right. And primarily men. It destroys us, and you uplift these women on a high pedestal, and by nature you force them to look down at us, man. They look down, and you're destroying families. You're destroying families. Scriptures say you can't go into a strong man's house and bind them and take over, basically, roughly paraphrasing. At least you bind the strong man. And what they did is they took our hands and they put it behind our back, because what does a woman need? She needs shelter. She needs protection. She needs clothes. What does it say in Isaiah the 4th chapter? Right, we are our own clothes, right? And
should be a hiding place.
Yeah, but we wear our own clothes and wear our own apparel. but only let us be called by your name, man. They'll cook, they'll wear our clothes, but that's what they need, that's what they desire. And if you provide that to them, the government or another man, that's basically not your woman, man. That's why we say that these women ain't ours, man.
Hey, and the so-called white man's always been a coward. Take a look. You want an example? You take a look back when what they did to Gad. They will wait for the Gadite men to go out hunting, do whatever. They'll lurk in and they'll come and they'll ravage, pillage the women, and they'll destroy the whole village. But they waited until the men wasn't there, man. But that goes to show you that the so-called white man is a natural coward, man. That's right. If it wasn't for his guns, man, this man would have been out of here.
Yeah, finish that for me.
It says, his seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not.
Yeah, go ahead. That's it.
A little bit more. It says, leave thy fatherless children, and I will preserve them alive, and let the widows trust in me.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's Habakkuk chapter 2 verse.
Slaki, hold that. Read your quote real quick, and you got 83.
Psalms 83.
Okay.
It says the FBI sets goals for COINTELPRO. Under Director J. Edgar Hoover, the FBI's COINTELPRO counterintelligence program was aimed at investigating and disrupting dissident political groups within the United States. Targets frequently included civil rights activists, both those espousing nonviolence, like Martin Luther King, and those that Hoover referred to as black national hate groups. And I'll get down to the point. The goals, all right, because there's a couple goals, but I'll jump to the point. So the headline for goals is for maximum effectiveness of counterintelligence programs and to prevent wasted effort, long-range goals are being set. The goal number 2, to prevent the rise of a messiah.
Now we talking about
who could unify and electrify the black national movement.
Yep. Now we talking about J. Edgar Hoover, which was the head. It wasn't like the FBI, just some random branch of the FBI that they set. This was their main target. What does the FBI stand for? The Federal Bureau of Investigation. What was they investigating? They was investigating the uprising or the spark or whatever, the political movement, whether it was peaceful or non-peaceful, to take our people up out of the predicament that we in.
That's right. They didn't want us thinking for ourselves and defending for ourselves. They wanted us to follow them with how they move, or they tell us how to live.
You know what that reminds me?
They don't want free thinkers.
That's Revelation. The dragon was wroth.
Yeah.
That went to go make war. That's basically what that is. That's Esau being upset at Jake, and then that was a war. Like when you go into Martin Luther King was put to death. Martin Luther King's wife filed Coretta Scott filed a lawsuit against the U.S. government and won. And they gave, I think, look that up.
Millions of what?
No, she got like $1 or something like that.
Yeah.
And she won. Like they proved everything in the case that the U.S. government was directly attached to the assassination of Martin Luther King. When you go into Malcolm X, when you go into Huey P. Newton, when you go into all these Fred Hampton, when you go into all these movements, whether it was the Nation of Islam, whether it was peaceful movement churches, whether it was Black Panthers army, Esau had everything to do with that.
Right, because they said that regardless if it was non-violent or if they looked at him as a threat, it didn't matter. They still was against him.
You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of the time of Herod. You know why? Because Herod tried to kill all he was in preparation of the Messiah coming. Yeah. And during the same time that this happened, guess who was coming? The birth of Abba Biblis. You see, the rise of the Hebrew Israelite movement, which is the word of Yahweh Shai, man. That's the word of Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is the word.
And it was around that same. That's crazy because it was around that same time. Hey man, that's a beautiful point. That's the same spirit, man. The same spirit. Who was in power during that time? With the 60s, Kennedy?
Kennedy got whacked, so it was
But before it was Hoover was the leader of the FBI, bro.
Johnson came after JFK because Johnson was his vice president.
It was
Johnson came after.
Johnson came after.
He was his vice president, JFK.
And it was he was the vice president. He became the president after that assassination. But before Kennedy was
What year you looking for? Before Kennedy?
On the 60s. Who
That was Dwight D. Eisenhower.
Eisenhower.
But you see how Satan works? Because Satan was in preparation, trying to hold the word of the Heavenly Father. So he was preparing a way to kill off immediately the movement of the Lord. But the scriptures say that if these things be of men, it will come to naught.
Right.
And it says that he set up the apostles last,
Yep,
right?
yep.
Because the Lord's purpose was going to stand. Same thing with Yahweh Shai and Herod. There is nothing that Herod can do. He could kill every Israelite baby, but Yahweh Shai was still going to rise.
Now, when you're dealing with that was Kennedy, who I believe was a president when Esau had went up into the space, and the scriptures say that was when the Heavenly Father was going to start to bring Esau down, and that was when Albert Bibbins came onto the scene. He was that voice that was crying in the wood, who really paved the way of John the Baptist, and coming in the spirit of John the Baptist, that paved the way for this whole evil Israelite thing to fly open. And when you go into, let's get Revelation to 12 chapter.
I got that.
It's Revelation 12 and 17.
Now you read 17, but I want you to go Revelation 12 and 1, right?
Okay. It says, and the dragon was wroth with the woman.
Yeah, that dragon is the beast system going into the Roman system, which is the American system. All right, America is the new Rome, revised Rome, Rome 2.0, the healed Rome. Okay, modern day Rome. Go ahead.
And went to make war with the remnant of her seed.
Yep.
Which keep the commandments of Yahweh and have the testimony of Yahweh Shai, Mashiach.
And have the and the Israelites. All right. You start at the at the top. Revelation 12.
Revelation 12 and 1.
Yep.
And there appeared a great wonder in the heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet.
Right, because the woman is what? The woman is Israel. And the moon represents the wisdom, knowledge, right? Understanding. Right? Go ahead.
And upon her head a crown of 12 stars.
Yeah, 12 representing the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Go ahead.
And she being with child cried, travailing in birth and pain to be delivered.
Right. Basically, when the scripture talks about the upcoming of Jacob's world, it always refers to what? Birth pains and contractions, meaning one world dying out and another world being born, right? Esau being at the end of the world and Jacob being the beginning of the follow. But look how it's twofold as well, because Mary, was with child when she had Yahushua, right? And what did Herod try to do? Herod tried to kill that child. What did the angel tell them? He told them to go into Egypt, right? Egypt was, at that time, the ancient Egyptians of antiquity were dark-skinned people, right? Which proves that the Lord himself and the Israelites are dark-skinned people. Why would an angel, a smart, intelligent being, tell a white man to go hide amongst some damn Hamites, some dark Hamites, and you gonna blend right in? You gonna stand like a short dumb, But read that again, boy.
Verse 2. And she being with child cried, travailing in birth and pain to be delivered.
Go ahead.
And there appeared another wonder in heaven.
Yep.
And behold, a great red dragon.
The great red dragon, which Herod was what? He was the king of Babylon at that time, right? The king of Rome, the king of Assyria, the king of Egypt, right? Go ahead.
Having 7 heads and 10 horns.
Go ahead.
And 7 crowns upon his head.
Go ahead.
And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven.
Yeah, that's talking about they consumed Benjamin, Judah, and Levi, because the other 10 tribes were already cast off. All right, but the 3 tribes, the strongest tribes, were stayed in the land, and those are the ones who got conquered by the Romans. All right, they got conquered by the Grecians, and they got conquered after the Grecians who came into power. After the Grecians, the Romans. All right, it tells you that in the book of Maccabees, the ships of Shittim. You can read it. You go to your library. It's in the library. Google it. All right, this is circular history that's lines up with, as we call it, circular history, but it's just history. All right, the Bible is a history book. That's our history book. Okay, go ahead.
That's right. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth.
Go ahead.
And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it be born.
Yeah. Now, what happened with the Lord, man? They wanted to devour the Lord. Hey, Herod killed a lot of people, man.
Right.
He killed a lot of babies trying to stop that. Basically what J. Edgar Hoover was saying, trying to stop the next Messiah. Why? Because they know that their kingdom is fucking coming down, man. They know that we're their arch enemy. They know that no matter what happens, whether it's across seas or they had a whole war with Germany. You know what I'm saying? Germany tried to annihilate them. What did they do? Gave money to rebuild Germany. They dropped nukes on the Japanese. What do? They do business with the Japanese. They cool with the Japanese. They gave them reparations.
That reminds me of back in Egypt.
Yeah, I got that.
You know, back in Egypt, it was to stop the rise of the children of Israel because the nations feared the children of Israel being in power.
So that's the spirit, because this brother brought out the quote with Margaret Sanger, and that Margaret Sanger is coming in the same spirit as these damn devils, right? Go ahead, bro.
No, this is
Hold
Exodus.
that, bro. Go ahead, bro.
This is Exodus 1, and I'm going to jump down to 15. And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of one was Sapphira, and it says the name of the other was Poor. And it says, and he said, when you do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women, and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then you shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live.
Hey, that same spirit is here to any of you brothers that have had a child and you had to be in a hospital room with these damn devils, and the looks and the feeling and the energy that you get when you tell them I'm gonna pass on a vaccination, that demonic feel, man, it's crazy.
You gotta also consider how many times they come in the room. You know, they'll go out, you'll tell them, and they come back again. 30 minutes later, another hour later, constantly.
Yo, they asked my woman before she was about to have the baby, do you want me to put in a prescription for
Hepatitis.
birth control? And I said, you know, subtitle, like, you know, we didn't even have a baby yet, and you're already trying to, you talk about birth control. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of insensitive. You know, play it off like, you know, that's kind of insensitive. You know, she's about to have a baby. You're talking about birth control. You know, but this is the same spirit, man. The same. We wrestling against these spiritual demons in high places. You know, I mean, a doctor. What the fuck is a doctor? That's what I told him. What the hell is a doctor? She said nobody. They don't know nothing. You go to the doctor, they're not gonna mention anything about your diet. They're gonna mention anything about strengthening your immune system. They ain't gonna mention anything about. Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's it. I went to the, I'm like, what do you recommend for foods? You know, just to fuck with them, man. What do you recommend for food? And kind of throw her off guard. Like, I'm not a fucking nutritionist. Well, you should be. You should be. That should be your first. Yeah.
Right, they're nothing but high-end drug dealers. That's what they are.
Physicians.
Witchcraft. Physicians of no value.
That's why they have that oath. They have that oath, and they stick to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. You finish reading that? Go ahead, brother. You got
Karnak, and that's why it says in the beginning, it says forgers of lies, physicians of no value.
Hey, get that, because that's a beautiful precept. But go ahead, Karab.
Going back to all right, verse 17. This is Exodus 1 and 17. But the midwives feared the Most High and did not, as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the men children alive. And the king of Egypt called for the midwives and said unto them, why have ye done this thing, and have saved the men children alive? And the midwives said unto Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women, for they are lively and are delivered ere the midwives come in unto them.
Hey, that's our women. Our people are lively as hell, man. We don't die, we multiply. You could tell an Israelite kid. They got energy. They up and down.
They try to tell you it's AD.
That's what I was gonna say. They try to give you fucking drugs to slow down, make you drool.
Don't listen to Esau when he tell you your kid got ADHD and you want to put him on Ritalin and Zoloft and all these beams. Yeah, come on, man. It's bullshit.
Our kids have an unction to know all things. So in order to have an unction to know all things, they gotta move around. They gotta move around.
And how was the kid before these drugs were invented?
Exactly.
What did you do?
What the hell you do now? You know?
You don't learn. It's like it, bro. You don't learn by sitting down in a classroom for 8 hours in front of a bitch with a excuse my French, but in front of a lady with a goddamn chalkboard all goddamn day. You learn hands-on. You learn by doing. You learn by seeing. That's Esau. Esau's a little retarded omen child that just sits down all goddamn day, you know, doing nothing. We ain't like that, man.
Shit down.
Yeah, taking notes.
We learn with our hands.
Yeah, we gotta mess something up real quick, like, you know.
We gotta hurt ourselves, right?
The real way to learn is by
Hands-on.
when you leave a child in certain instances on his own devices, he'll figure it out himself.
Trial and error.
That right, he'll figure it out himself. I have my son, you know, now whenever we were carrying him too much, you know, time was going by and he was in developing rolling, because we were always holding him. And we had him on the little bouncer, but when we put him on the floor, you first scared that he's not gonna learn to pick his head. Right. But the birds do the same thing. You know what there's a bird, I forgot what it is, that throws the bird
Throws
off
the
the
bird
nest.
off the- yeah, yeah.
It's up to him. If he
If
dies,
he
he
dies,
dies.
yeah.
But there's no way to learn. But the same principle
Yeah.
applies, man. And
Yeah.
once we put my son in the floor, man, guess what? Now he rolls around the whole room like
Same thing when
yeah, he rolls.
Same thing when a child starts to walk.
Yeah.
He stands up first,
And
and
he
they might
fall.
fall. And then,
Yeah.
you know, the woman's like, "Oh my God, she fell!" But you gotta fall in order to learn how to walk.
But
So
Esau
you
likes
know.
to
You know?
baby everything, smooth everything, and you know that's the ways of the so-called white man, man.
Yeah.
Because this man, he's a weak man.
Yeah.
He's a vile man, man. He can't keep up, man.
Yeah.
That's
Go ahead,
the
Karan.
reason, you know.
This is
Whenever you finish.
verse 20. It says, "Therefore the Most High dealt well with the midwives, and the people multiplied and waxed very mighty. And it came to pass because
Hey,
the
the key word is wax mighty. Jake is waxing mighty here in this place, man. Jake is starting to dust themselves off in this place, man. Do you know how many Jake's done? You know how many small businesses Jake done started up in this place? Jake's starting to get into nails, eyebrows, you know. Jake is getting
Jake's at
printing
home,
presses
man.
on their t-shirts.
At
You know
home
what I'm saying?
making plates.
Jake is getting into the shoe business, you know, restoration, stock market. Yeah, that's all Jake talking about now.
They fifth.
You know?
With that's
Stock
our
market,
thing.
yeah.
You know, they have a flashback like basketball. They made up basketball.
Yeah.
Now these about to be superstars in that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Like hockey?
Yeah.
We started hockey, you know? But that spirit is coming back, man. We did all this, man. So we getting mighty, and the Esau is just looking, they don't like it, man. They want us to be at the bottom forever, man. And you, Jake, shouldn't want to be at the bottom forever, man. Y'all should be ready to fight for whatever it is that's yours, man. Which is really freedom. Freedom to be freed away from these goddamn devils, man. You should be wanting to get you should be wanting to lift their fucking foot off your neck and then in return the favor.
Yeah, dust off that slave mentality and put on that king-like
That king,
mentality.
that's right.
Ultimately, it's gonna come on through when Yahweh Shai, you know, just removes all these other kings and these rulers off the earth. But just that mentality starts alone, the kingdom within you, man.
And we know
changing of the mind.
Yeah.
And we know with prophecy that 2/3 of our people gotta go, because same thing when we left Egypt. You know, the old people that has that enslavement mentality. We gotta get rid of them, man. We gotta get rid of them. The Most High. Listen, the Most High is creating, you know, a nation that's pure. It's creating a nation of men that is self-sustaining men. Okay, that are gonna be men of value. That are gonna be men that are always with the mentality of being first, man, of being leaders.
That's right.
That's the right word. Being
Yeah,
leaders.
alpha males. That beta stuff is out of here.
Yeah, man. All that. Yeah. Let me be a follower and follow Esau's
You made a
lead.
good point out because you said purification. When you purify water, you might put a gallon in there, but when you filtering it, you ain't gonna get a gallon up. You know, so you're gonna get the pure water. It's gonna be way less than that gallon, but that water is gonna be way
Way more
better,
valuable.
way more valuable
Yeah.
and drinkable than the water you had at the beginning.
right.
And that's what the Lord is doing. Man.
So this is what this message is for. This message is from the hopeful elect, man, because we understand that the purpose of the Most High, the Heavenly Father, is to do away with 2/3 of you people, man. And rightfully so, because you people are wicked as all hell anyways. Jake, what does the scripture say that
Surpass the deeds of the wicked.
right, the surpassings of the wicked, but my people, they're wise to do evil, you know, but to do good they have no knowledge. Like, you could beat a Jake upside the head. Listen, stop shooting your brother, and maybe, you know, put that same energy to maybe better yourself somehow. Jake, all right, what are you telling me? You know, because Jake, that's how Jake is, man.
I got that for you.
You know?
Jeremiah 4 verse 22, for my people is foolish. They have not known me. They are sottish children. And they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge.
They have no knowledge, man. And ultimately the good comes from the scriptures, man. Everything else is nothing but foolishness, buffoonery, you know, and madness. You know, that everything else. All right, the main wisdom, the main knowledge, the main schooling that you should be doing should be the Bible, man.
That's right.
That's the ultimate knowledge, because ultimately everything that you see is going to be destroyed.
I got one
It's going to be
real quick.
completely annihilated by thermonuclear fire, man. Plain and simple.
That's right.
You know?
James 1 verse 21, wherefore lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness, and receive with meekness ye engrafted word, which is able to save your soul.
Right, which is able to save your soul, man. So only the elect will be saved, man. But you go ahead, bro. You got
Jump back to Exodus 1, I'm gonna start at verse 20 again. It says, therefore the Most High dwelt well with the midwives, and the people multiplied and waxed very mighty. And it came to pass, because the midwives feared the Most High, that he made them houses. And Pharaoh charged all his people, saying, every son that is born ye shall cast him into the river, and every daughter you shall save alive.
Yeah, if I be because your sons, that's how the family pretty much continue. You know what I'm saying? By them trying to cut off the son, that's them pretty much trying to cut off the nation.
And that goes back
Women
to
are just spoiled, man. Women and kids are just spoils of war. A kid you could train up to be submissive and submissive to you, and a woman is just you could keep your nation's line going through any woman. It doesn't matter.
right.
You know?
And that's why that crafty council was mainly for the men of Israel, man. The guns in the community, the drums in the community, the gangs, all that whole lifestyle was really to destroy the men of our nation.
Yeah, the target is men, man. And that's why women. That's why the scriptures talk about, arise ye that are at ease. The women that are set on their lead, the careless daughters, because you guys ain't the fucking target. Ain't nobody targeting you women.
Y'all are accomplices at times,
Yeah, but like you said, accomplices. They're not targeting you. They're propping you up intentionally, all right, to degrade us. And you guys fall for the bait, hook, line, and sinker, and you're gonna pay for it. You're building up. You ain't doing nothing but building up a tab for you. So when all hell break loose, there's some grimy, dirty, dusty nigga that's looking to ravish your ass and beat you upside your head, stomp you in the mile of the street. That's all you doing. When Esau society go down, you gonna go down with him. You going back into slavery once the Lord comes back. You ain't nothing but a servant any goddamn. Y'all gonna learn to be servants to y'all men. Y'all gonna be servants. That's what y'all are, servants.
That's what the word woman means.
The word woman means.
And it's a good thing. Like, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's not a bad thing.
That was the loss the Lord put on.
We're gonna be because we're not in our power right now, so you don't want to listen to us. But once we get in our power, you'll be fine.
It goes back to that order. We're servants of Yahweh Shemel Shah. Women's gonna be servants unto the men.
That's right, sir.
Yeah, if I
So the children are servants unto the parents. Yeah.
I got a quick one. This is Proverbs 29:2. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice.
Okay.
But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn.
Now, spirit, that's a whole nother gear, right?
Yeah.
Because what we talking about, we got here, dude, your boy Macron. You got the prime minister of France got the shit smacked out of him. You had Kamala Harris going down to Guatemala. They told her had signs. Told her ass to get the hell out of here. A while back you had this devil Conan O'Brien and went to Haiti. The little girl was like, get it. We don't want you.
Home.
We don't want you in our land.
Bush had his shoes tossed at him.
Him talking about, white man, we don't want you in our land no
deal
more.
with the China man.
Yeah. Go home. But it goes back to what? When the righteous are in authority, everybody's Gucci. Ain't nobody had a problem with King Solomon when he sat on the throne.
Right.
They're gonna welcome when the righteous are in authority. These other nations are gonna welcome us in with opening arms.
That dream that the lady had was a beautiful vision, and she said, "Yo, everywhere we went, we was like rock stars. People they were happy, they were dancing. They do parades in the street.
That's right.
That's how it's going. Ain't nobody happy when fucking these Esau, pale pasty ass come through. Nobody's happy. My mom used to leave us alone. She used to say, if a white man come to the door, don't open my door. That's what she used to say. Because she knew that there was nothing but trouble. It was a fucking DCF worker or, the landlord or renter center trying to come back and take the furniture back and something like that. Yeah, you renter center, how you sign a contract, and, you paying 3 times worth of furniture. That's you set up little traps and snares like that for Jake the Fallen. But, hey, man, you figured out, man. We just gonna keep working on you. You keep hitting the body, eventually the head gonna drop. That's what we're gonna do. Joe Frazier keep hitting you with rip shots and uppercuts to your body. Yeah, your head's gonna fall eventually, man.
Hey, the bodies, the punching bags is the scriptures, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's our sword. That's our defense mechanism, man. There's a scripture for everything that expose you devils, like the brother brought out in was it Jeremiah 49:10? We made Esau's leg bare, man. Esau can't hide himself because the Lord got his prophets pretty much breaking down the reason why this world is in decay, because you're in rulership, man.
This is Jeremiah 51:7. It says, Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Right?
It's like that bad hangover.
Yeah, and it's all due to, you could tell that they've been puppeteering the world. Okay, that's what their wine is. It's that philosophy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, set it up like this,
right.
man. We helping you,
Right.
but all the while they behind you, stabbing you and taking your resources. But just that setup that they got going is falling apart, man. And these nations going to start. It's your fault that we ain't getting paid. It's your fault that everybody's sick. It's your fault that, hey, man, they're getting ready to lay it on. And I think Putin did a speech like that. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately, he was saying that it was going to lead up to the Third World War, you know?
And you made a promise. You said if we did this, we did that. We held our end of the bargain, and you didn't keep yours. You had the president of Brazil saying, "Look, America's not going to dictate what goes on in our backyard." That's the weak saying I'm strong, man. That's the nation's taking up a proverb against the king of Babylon. You know, thou become as weak as us. You don't have no more. You don't have more power over these people in the world like you once did. They're not ruling out the red carpet for you like they once did. They chopping your head off in Mexico when you go down there. The people down on the island of Puerto Rico, they said they don't want you going down there no more. They see that you fucking them over. So-called Puerto Ricans pay the highest tax rate in America. The highest in America. Still, the debt in Puerto Rico is crazy through the roof. The inflation in Puerto Rico is crazy through the roof. And they're not even allowed to vote on who's their president, who's over them. They can't even vote on that. You know, so I mean, what the hell? They're pissed off at you, you goddamn Americans. You had all these Americans getting stimulus checks and PUA, but people on the island of Puerto Rico, they was X'd out of that, man. But you have Hawaii that has they get electorals, but Puerto Rico don't. You know, what's the excuse on that? You know, that's an island, that's a part of America. You know what I'm saying? A U.S. territory.
And it's way further than Puerto Rico.
It's way further than Puerto Rico.
Almost on the other side of the world.
Yeah,
Puerto Rico is right off the coast of Florida.
Yeah, they just recently stopped, testing bombs on the island of Puerto Rico because they were complaining what they were doing. The U.S. Navy would use the island of Puerto Rico to test fucking certain bombs and shit, man.
What's that? Bikini Island.
Bikini Island. Yep. All right, so in Guantanamo Bay, still in Cuba.
Yeah.
You know, you got the Japanese protesting U.S. military. Military was it? Military. My mind. Military bases. Military bases, because you're still there from the 50s when you fought them. All right, so everywhere around the world, everybody's burning your flags, man.
Yeah,
You know?
not to cut you off. There ain't gonna be no more chanting. Ain't gonna be no more press conferences. And then it's gonna be they're pressing the button to release the thermonuclear missiles on
No
you.
press conference, just a press of a button.
Press the damn button.
I got some real quick. 2 Corinthians 10:4 says, "For the weapon of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Yahweh Shemel Shah to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down imagination and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of the Most High, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Hamashiach."
Beautiful precept, and this is the reason why you see that they're shutting down the videos, because what we're doing is we're breaking down these strongholds. Why aren't you guys? Where's the big raids out on these gangs and stuff like that that's terrorizing the neighborhoods? You don't see them; they don't exist. You got a bunch of prison cells full of people that's. Where's the pedophile? Where's the major mass pedophilia bust and the rings and human trafficking? You know, all these people, the kids that's kidnapped. You go to Walmart and you see 1,000 little kids. Where are these kids at? You know, but you want to come and delete our channels because you know this is that real work that's really bringing your kingdom down, man.
That's right.
You know, and we love to do it. Anybody got anything else?
I got something real quick. This is Amos 5:10. It says, "They hate him that rebuketh in the gate, and they abhor him that speaketh uprightly."
Yeah, and we know you people hate us because we rebuke in the gate, all right? And you know you people hate righteousness, man. And you love wickedness. Whether it's the majority of our people, 2/3 is a majority that hate us because you love your fucking daddy, the devil. You know, you love Esau. You love this makeshift society that he's built up for you. You know, and you could do whatever you want. The scriptures say they loved while they was in that freedom. They hated the law.
They love my law, right?
They had that liberty. They loathed the law, which is they hated it. and you people hated. And Esau, of course, you're at the top. You don't want your kingdom to come down. You know, but of course we're gonna keep jagging, picking away at it, and keep circling the walls of Jericho to this bitch crack. Heavenly Father, do us the green light to run in here and take back what's ours. Guys. Alright, just like it says in the book of Daniel, the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom, and possess the kingdom. Go ahead, bro.
Isaiah 62 verse 6, I have set watchmen upon thy walls of Jerusalem, we shall never hold their peace day nor night. Ye that make sure of the Lord keep no silence, and give him the rest to be established until he make Jerusalem a praise of the earth.
Yeah, every day, GMS starting with the head apostles on down, it's on your ass, man. You know, until Heavenly Father do what He said He's gonna do, which was a promise, and we know He's gonna do it. He promised Himself. He promised on Himself. All right. So with that, we want to give all praises, glory, and honor to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kakadash.
Every honor to the elders, peace, love, and salutations to the Bayaf Dawada. Shalom.
Shalom.
Abba, Abba,
Abba, Abba.
Kwame Yashua.